Today, I sat down exclusively with Vimal Kapur, the CEO of Honeywell, for a wide-ranging discussion about the industrial blue chips portfolio and how, at a time when investors are keenly focused on the AI benefits for the industrial sector, how Honeywell is positioned for this new era.
You know, the AI, when we talk about the word generative AI, by definition, it's probability-based. It means it's directionally correct. It may not be entirely accurate. But in context of industrial world, you cannot be directionally correct. You have to be very precise. So when we make a recommendation to somebody to use an equipment or a machine or run it in a certain manner, we have to be damn sure about it. And that makes it more deterministic versus probability-based. And that's where our domain knowledge comes in, to use a lot of large language model tools, but in context are our applications. And that's what really excites me of use of AI in the industrial world.
So at a time where investors are awakening to the AI potential benefits within the industrial sector, how much of this is internal applications at Honeywell and realizing the productivity within the company and across the businesses internally? How much of this is the offerings and the evolution of offerings to those customers and end markets?
So it's both. We are a huge adopter of AI ourselves internally, because if you have to sell it, I rather use it myself. And I personally do a lot of it. I use a lot of Copilot tools to draft my emails, for example, so that you practice and really see what it is. But we are using it in Honeywell in product development, product testing, a lot of customer service work, as you had heard from many other people. But real thing, what excites me is how we take it to our customers and making the use cases across the world using our IoT platform, which we call Honeywell Forge, is a massive opportunity for us.
Kapur, who marks a year as CEO next month, has outlined 3 megatrends that he's aligning the Honeywell portfolio around: automation, which speaks to sensors, AI, software; aviation; and energy transition, which includes solar and wind, but also green molecules and green electrons.
Regulation is going to play an important role, but it's a combination of carbon tax or tax rebates, because these technologies are in the nascent stage, so returns are relatively lower. So some support is required till they scale and become economically viable. No different from where wind and solar was in 2005. I mean, if you retract back 20 years back, they didn't have enough returns, and some help was required to scale them, which is not necessary today. And we are in some of the green molecules in the same phase, where our customers want to do it. There's absolute demand for it, but there is some gap between the economic returns. So either regulation comes where the demand becomes firm, or if that's not the case, then some tax support or tax credit, something like that. And IRA does, Inflation Reduction Act, which happened a couple of years back, that does support in that, but more things like these needs to get done, not only in the US, but all over the world.
Which takes us to the future of aviation and where that's headed.
Yeah. So future of aviation is all about electrification. I don't think in our life cycle we'll see a battery-operated plane. I mean, it's a nice thing to talk about. But immediately what excites us is urban air mobility, or eVTOLs. I think it's the first stage of electrification of aerospace industry, and Honeywell is actively playing in that. Really excites me on possibilities to be in New York and not get stuck in traffic, how quickly this is going to become feasible. I think all indications are 27, 28 is a time when the rule framing can happen, they can be certified, and these can be launched. And I believe, it's like the way iPhones change our lives 15 years back, and we didn't imagine what it will do to us. This is something very similar, because it's a different way of life, specifically in crowded cities. So it's going to have a huge implication on the social fiber and the social infrastructure.
An iPhone moment. Well, he sees eVTOL as a 4th future revenue stream for Honeywell's aerospace unit, which has been leading growth for the company overall. It was up 18% last quarter, and broad-based from commercial to defense and space in terms of those sales. That's a long-cycle business, though, for Honeywell, and it's the short-cycle ones, like warehouse automation, that have been challenged. That's the reason, according to some analysts, the stock has lagged. Kapur says those are inflecting, with the second half of 2024 expected to show more improvement.
I would say I've been working for 35 years. The amount of disjointed economic cycle it is probably is a bit unique factor. Some industry may be growing in one part of the world, but may be shrinking in another part of the world. And broadly speaking, long cycle is performing consistently, whether it's in energy, whether it's in aerospace, process industry, they're performing consistently well across the world. And short cycle depends on inventory stocking, when it happened at a different part of the world, the economic cycle of a particular country, and it's very disjointed at this point of time. But overall, we are improving every quarter. and I see year progressing, Honeywell performance getting better.